Hello, welcome back, dreamers, to the Dream Stream podcast. I am Yiskah Koock here with Ellen Ronis, and we're going to talk about our dreams. And I think we're also going to talk about the creative process and writing, because that seems to have spurred our conversation this morning. So you've been writing, Ellen.
Yes.
Tell me about the process.
Yeah. So I'm actually taking a class. It's not really a class like how to write. It's really just a group and with a facilitator who is a writer and a teacher and a spiritual person and a psychological person. And so I rock with her energy a lot. And
I never heard that expression before, spirit tool. Did you say that?
What expression?
A spirit tool?
No, I just said she's spiritual.
Spiritual. Oh, I thought it was like, God, make me the instrument for your will.
That's true. Spirit tools, like they're, I think writing is that in a way, right? Because it's like you're a conduit for something.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's been really wonderful to and difficult. Writing is not easy. People think whatever people think, but writing is hard. I mean, sometimes it just flows out of you, but there's a lot of judgments and a lot of, who cares about what I'm writing about and who cares about my life. And it's just, but the truth is that if you look at anybody's writing, particularly like a biographical thing, autobiographical books, it's just stories of people's lives, and it's how you make them interesting. And everybody's story is potentially interesting. So, so what am I saying about all that is I think I really appreciate the process. I appreciate like kind of almost being forced to show up to the page, like to have this group, this class, this moment, we do the meditation and then we just write for 30 minutes. And it could be based on a prompt. We read some prompts and you can pick a prompt or you can just write whatever comes out of you. And that's usually what I do. And it's often kind of a stream of consciousness kind of a thing. But lately it's been stories. I didn't even, sometimes I'm just writing a story and I don't even know why I'm writing about it. This is what happened. I thought I was wanting to process something that was happening in the moment and I wanted to write about that. And it turns out I wrote about many years before that started, like how I got to this place. But I kind of started at the beginning and didn't know I needed to do that until I got to the page. I think that's the most interesting point.
I
didn't know that I needed to start there until I just started there. It's just what came out of me. And until I actually read it to my friends and colleagues in the class, I had no idea why I was writing it. And I had no idea why it was important, or even if it was important, or if it was any good. But with the feedback from people about the story as a story in and of itself, it turns out it was quite interesting. And somehow
the stream of consciousness also puts us in a sort of magical state of similarly to dreaming. I guess that's why people can really do automatic writing, people who are connected with spirit and do the writing. It's a really powerful medium. I used to write a lot, and unfortunately for me, I haven't been writing so much, but you're inspiring me, Ellen, and I'm thinking I want to go back to writing again. That was an essential part of my life.
Yeah, definitely. And somehow it feels connected to the dream world. I'm not really sure how, but it comes from that in a way, like sometimes writing is conscious. You're like, I'm going to write about this. That's not usually how I write personally, but yeah, oftentimes the writing comes out and it can go into that sort of dreamy, descriptive, sort of
the unconscious mind, the more allowing for the flow. And similarly, I feel about writing a lot, especially when I was in high school. I had a teacher, Miss Lane, And she called it Professor Corey, I guess the first person who did automatic writing, not automatic writing, but like stream of consciousness writing with her, was a professor of hers, named Corey or whatever. So she taught us, now we're going to do Professor Corey, and it's just however many pages of just stream of consciousness. And that was a huge learning for me, that you can like free the control part of yourself and just let the energy flow, and don't pick your pen up from the page. You just keep it going, even if we're just saying, I don't know what to write right now.
Exactly. And my very first writing teacher said, literally, if you are writing and the pen stops, just write, I don't know what to write right now. I don't know why I'm writing it. Just literally write that down. And then, or what I mean by that is, because sometimes you're writing something, you're like, where am I going with this? And somehow when you ask yourself the question, you just keep writing, something else comes up. And it's actually really cool. And I did this before with a different teacher, and I often just would say, well, what's the point of this? Because it just sits in my journal. Nobody reads it. And I realized the point is that it really does help you process life, and it does help you dig in a little deeper, and it does help you see things about yourself. And it also, for me, has actually helped me see that I have some kind of capabilities here in the world of writing. Doesn't mean I don't, sometimes I fantasize about writing a book. And I don't know what.
I just heard myself saying, I just met my son's fiance's mom, who lives in Hawaii, and she had come to visit, and I met her, and I found myself, no time for small talk, really. No time for small talk. Just get right to it. There's limited time here on Earth. And I found myself saying, yes, I have 2 books to write. And I was like, really? Okay, let me parse that out. Is one of the books on dream work, or maybe on MS, or maybe on active imagination, or I don't know. So that's exciting. So you're in a way already, well, I don't know, forgive me if I'm misreading that, but you're already embarking on your journey of writing. Is that, you feel like,
I don't, being a somewhat of a commitment phobe, I am reluctant to say that, because I don't really want anybody asking me about it. How's your book coming along? No, I am absolutely not writing a book. I seem to be writing stories, and the stories seem to be about my journey, having left New York, what that was, why, when, how it happened, the details along the way, the kind of quirky things, the deep things, the funny things, the profound, whatever things, and I've only
Seamus.
Bringing Seamus, he is in those stories for sure.
I'm sure he is.
Yes, he definitely is. And so that's all. I've only written a few, like really one full story, and then everything, and then sort of, little bits of adding to it and sort of figuring out what the next story is. So I'm trying to just continue to show up to the page for myself, and trying to carve out like 30 minutes where I just like sit for a few minutes in a meditation and then write for 30 minutes and just see what happens. Not, I haven't done that every day, but even if I do it a couple of times a week in addition to my class, that's just what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome.
Again, I don't know if anybody knows anything about astrology. I'm a sun and moon in Gemini, and Mercury in Gemini. So I have a lot of, changeability, a lot of jumping around from one interest in a lot of different things, jumping around from one thing to the next. And I've recently been trying to kind of sink into more things. So
wonderful.
But also recognizing I am a person who can do quite a few things quite well.
That's so interesting. The dream you shared last time, talking about a tarp that was, floating, and then it was sinking in. So I feel like, okay, getting there.
Yeah, that is so interesting, because I do remember also from that dream that the thought that I had when because I was with my good friend, and that we were sitting in this tarp that was going under the water, and I was thinking
Yes,
this type of support doesn't work anymore.
that's right.
So maybe,
That's right.
it's like, yeah, this way of being in
Yes,
the world,
yes, yes,
um, of expression and emotion, because that would be what water is, and what could
yes.
be. That's what it is for me
Yeah,
in the dream world.
yeah.
Yeah, is not is it needs to go, or maybe it needs to go deeper. It needs to sink in. Maybe I need to
So,
take that tarp out altogether
yeah,
and
I'm
let myself
curious
sink
now.
in.
Have you had furthering dreams? Have you dreamed since speaking about that? And is there any way it might be connected?
I had, oh gosh, my dream world has been so vague lately. It's just been
Hmm.
frustrating. And yeah. Um, I mean, I'm always happy that I sleep through the night. So if I don't remember my dreams, I'm okay with it. But
That's
it has been
secondary.
yeah, right now that's secondary. So I have been, I don't know, like last night, I have been, but I just can't remember them, to be honest. And
Okay,
sometimes, often what's been happening is I wake up with some kind of a, some kind of, it feels like chaotic imagery, but
okay,
and it feels like it's very connected to something that I'm working through, but I don't put it together.
okay.
I don't put it on paper, so then I don't remember it, and then
Right.
I can't quite remember, like, what is the message? What was the
Yes.
learning? What did so that's been happening.
This is something we talked about in the last podcast,
Yeah.
which is it's not always on the intellectual level that
Hmm.
the dream can be working on you. And some
Yeah.
dreams are just so sacred, we just want to, bear witness to them. And other dreams are working on other aspects of ourself.
Yeah. And
I
I
don't know.
guess we don't have to even, it's strange to be on a dream podcast and just say, well, I don't have, I'm having that, but I'm not having anything that I can actually talk about,
Right.
But I
Right.
think that those, whatever that is for me, that sort of confused imagery, whatever it is, it's got to be working on my psyche. It's working on my
Sure.
psyche somehow, right? Even if I don't know what it is, something is happening. And I guess,
Yes.
again, we say this often, it's about trust.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
about trusting that
It's
something
all
is
about
shifting.
trust.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean,
Everything is
much of
about
it.
trusting.
Yes.
Yeah. Trusting ourselves, trusting in the divine,
That's right.
trusting that there's something that has our back, you
Right.
know? Yeah.
Wow. So, well,
Mhm.
I have a dream image. Again, it's an
Mhm.
image like our last couple of podcasts, but I'd like to share it.
Sure.
Yeah. So I dreamed that I am under the skylight, which I don't have a skylight in my house. I dreamed I'm under the skylight and the sky is so blue. It's just crystal clear blue, no humidity. No, I didn't see any waves of heat in the air, or whatever. I mean, it was just a blue, crisp sky. And I was so excited. I felt like it was beckoning me outside. And I went into the kitchen in my house, my actual kitchen, and a friend of mine was sitting there, and I kept saying, it was a couple people, and I kept saying, my gosh, it's a blue sky. We have to go out there. And they're like, we're outside all the time, and I just realized how important for me it is to be outside, you know, be aware of the elements, be in the wind, be in the warmth, be in the chill, whatever it is that I realize because, and I talk about this a lot, I have multiple sclerosis, and walking is difficult for me, like especially like a hike walk. And I'm just, and I don't have a dog at present, so I'm not motivated to go walking. I need a dog, and then I'll have a reason to go walking every single day.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that is my dream fragment,
Mm. Mm.
the blue sky.
Yeah, I mean, blue sky, the symbolism of that, like
Yeah.
clarity,
Yeah,
feels like clarity in the mind.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's interesting. I mean, can I just go for like my
Yes,
hit,
please.
my take? Um, Yeah, I like that you felt like you were being beckoned out.
Yes,
And I sort of also see it as like you're inside and you're seeing outside, but there's this either a blockage or like a protection. I almost feel it as like I'm in my cozy home
yes,
and I can see that this is happening and I can feel like my energy is going out up into that beautiful sky, but I'm
yes,
kind of safe here. That's
right.
that's interesting that I'm taking it like that because I'm having issues of feeling safe in my home.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, I love it. I mean, I
yeah, so
don't love
that's
that you're having issues, but I love
no, I
that way of
understand. Yeah,
interpreting it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yes. It felt so personal, which is great. Because if I've been
Yeah,
inside a couple days in a row without even being outside, it's depressing. It's horribly
definitely,
depressing.
definitely.
And
I
I
mean,
want to,
I almost feel it as a reminder, like spirit is reminding you, there is
there
this,
is
and you have
this.
access to that. You just have to go outside. You can sit
Yeah,
on your deck, on your
this has
porch.
been in your life for your whole life,
Right.
and it's
This
here
isn't
now
going
too.
away. This is always here for you. And
Yes,
I mean,
that
sometimes
means
it gets
the
like
world.
that. Sometimes
That
it's like
means the
the only
world.
medicine is,
That
sorry,
means the
we're
world
talking
to
over
me.
what?
Is I know I
Talking
have this
over
new
each other
mic.
again.
I have this new mic. This that my son bought me, but I still we still talking over each other. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so comforting. I don't know what I was just gonna say about the blue sky. And were we
Mm.
having a conversation, or was that someone else, about the blue planet that we live on? And I was saying it's the most beautiful planet in our solar system. And they were like,
I don't remember talking about that.
you earth-centric person, but I'm like, no, just the blue. I mean, blue and green, like this is where my home is. I don't want
Hmm.
to live on a red planet. I don't want to live on, I want to live on the earth. Blue,
Hmm.
blue planet,
Hmm.
blue marble.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was a lovely beckoning for me. And so yeah, I would like to get outside more often. And yeah, I had a
Hmm.
great day a couple of days ago. I was out and about and I felt like, oh, I'm so strong now. So I was going to go hiking today on the rail trail with a friend. And I was like, I think I may have been over ambitious. I don't think I'm there yet. I will get
Hmm.
there, God willing. And I look forward to it. Hiking's always been a really important part of my life.
Hmm.
Uh, as a matter of fact, that's where I did most of my writing. Not
Hmm.
my like Professor Corey stream of consciousness writing, but
Hmm.
the poetry that I write, and most of
Hmm.
it is done or was done in the woods. And I would
Yeah.
repeat it. I didn't have a pen or paper, and this was before cell phones, really, when most of my writing was happening. And so I would have to recite it again and again and again to keep it in my mind until I got home and then could write it on paper. So that's
Wow.
how I remember so many of my um poems
I
verbatim.
know I was always impressed by that you could just recite your poetry. Like I can't even remember like anything. I have to always read everything. That's amazing that you could do that.
Can I share one with you?
Sure.
This is called Conversations with Cardinals. A red cardinal landed in a high branch of ash in the falling snow. I opened the bathroom window by extending the frame. He stayed a while and talked to me, thankful for the peanut butter, for the pine cone rolled in peanut butter and birdseed. What a tweet. We said goodbye and then he flew away, but I kept the window open.
Mm.
Following in the forged footpath of the dog through high piled snow, slow going, our path veers to the left toward a lichen covered tree for a yellow pea, her yellow pea, and on, under full branches, slowly letting down white powder. I hesitate. A twittering songbird says, don't hide, open wide, stay outside. Its shadow across the white earth I am blinded by the brilliance and fall backwards under this endless vastness, blue, white, yellow, and cardinal red.
Wow. That's so beautiful. I can't believe you
Thank
could
you.
remember all that. I just can't even believe
And
that.
that's not even one of the major arcana poems. That's like, I also remember lesser poems that have meant so much to me, but not necessarily publicly.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful. And it feels like your dream in a way, right? The
Yeah.
outside, the crisp, the blue
Yeah.
sky, the red,
Oh,
vibrant
wow.
colors, and
Yes.
being outdoors. And poetry comes to you when you're outdoors. Poetry comes to you
Yes.
when you're connected to nature. I mean,
And I
I feel that
specifically
too.
say blue when I fall. Blue, the blue sky, white, the white snow, yellow, the yellow pea, and cardinal red. Yeah.
Yeah. Very vivid imagery and beautiful.
Yeah. And dream and poetry certainly spring from the same well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, that same
Yeah.
state kind of in a way. Yep. Yeah, that's
Sort
very
of dreamy, unconscious, again, the flow, just what's flowing. So were you saying you had sort of a fragment of a dream?
Yeah, it was just something about an apartment or a house that I was maybe going to move into, or it had something to do because I've been looking to move, and I'm
Yes.
looking, at different places, and God knows it's not easy. It's New Mexico is expensive as all hell, and
Yeah.
anyway, it's a bit of a drama.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all. It just feels like it was kind of a reflection of like what I've been going through, which is seeing a lot of different places. But it was a kind of a high-rise building, which is nothing that we have here. So
right.
it wasn't reflective of anything very exact.
New York City.
There was like some kind of a high-rise, and yeah, I don't know. There were also people in the dream that were sort of, I can't quite remember who they were, but they were like from different parts of my life. Like this friend from here, and then another friend from there, and like 3 or 4 different very specific people. And I really wish I had written it down who they were, because now I'm not remembering. But it was like, oh, that's interesting. So-and-so was in that dream. Like they were all sort of, I don't know if they were helping me pick a place. They were helping me like look at
your ally
apartments or something
as
my
like
allies, I guess. Yeah.
It's good
I
to
think
have
my ex-husband might have been there, and my
really?
and a particular ex-friend.
Okay.
I would say ex-friend, just whatever, a friend who I'm not so close to now. But
yeah. So interesting. I think if it were my dream, I would definitely want to do a dream reentry. And if I even have a wisp of an energy of who might this person be and who might that person be, it feels so much like a video montage. This is your life. This person had this to offer, and this person. So I think that I would definitely want to do dream reentry. A la Robert Moss.
Yeah. No, I think that's, that would be an interesting thing. And I keep wanting to remember my dreams more. Like I have to really be more actively
writing,
praying for that, and making sure that like if I have a dream in the middle of the night, that I just jot it down, just do it. Otherwise I won't remember.
I think we talked about how I think we both were doing this, so we would remember, if we're still tired, one word of the dream, that it would trigger the whole dream. And that doesn't always happen.
Doesn't always.
You have the one word, but can't quite fathom why would that trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also, the concept of when you're really working your stuff, your deeper stuff in your waking life, that sometimes the dream life isn't as active.
I was thinking that earlier as well.
Yeah, that seems to happen for me. And And that might be what's happening, because I
Yeah.
think, but I also do think that there's something, there is something deeper that's bubbling up. There's something deeper that wants to be known,
Yes.
that wants to be seen, even if it's just the ways in which I've grown since I've been here,
Beautiful.
in the last few years. Yeah. So maybe
I
the
have
dream.
so much admiration of you, just picking up, starting a life over. I mean, I did that a lot in my early 20s, and maybe, and it was more about running away. It wasn't like going to create a beautiful life for myself. It was really about running away.
I want to read something to you. This was
Yes.
my last writing class. I'm not going to read any of the story except the very first line, which is the first line of the story was, "It seems important to say that I want to run towards something, not run away from something."
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Like, because I don't know I don't know if I'm going to stay here. I don't know if this is where I belong. I really don't. I don't feel
Yes.
that, but, I don't want to run away from that feeling and just feel like, oh, that's why I think I'm writing about it, and hopefully
Yes.
maybe dreaming about things that will give me some indications of where
Yes.
I am and how I want to proceed.
I love the Southwest. I've lived in, well, I'm also considering Colorado part of the Southwest, but I guess that's more central. But
it's the West.
The West. I've lived in Boulder and mountain towns, Netherlands and Jamestown, and I've lived in Munns Park, Arizona, and Flagstaff, Arizona, and Cuba, New Mexico, and La Jara, New Mexico. I mean, all these places are so powerful for me to think about, and I definitely miss the Southwest. That part of my soul, it will always be, connected with the Southwest.
Yeah. I know. I love it too. And unfortunately, this is the thing that happens, is that I get caught up in trying to make a living because I feel like I have to keep working. And so then I don't travel as much. Like, I haven't even seen a lot of different places in New Mexico. I mean, I have seen it, but there's certain places that are like off the beaten track, and they're incredible, and great sights and beautiful, landscapes.
We still have to get you to meet the dude who lives in Taos, that I really like his teachings. Remember, I was big into 3 teachers on YouTube. So it was Neville Goddard, first and foremost, but then there's also Greg Abbott.
Braden?
Yes. Yeah. And Greg Braden, and also a guru named Sacha Tananda or something. So we have to get you to see what Greg Braden's community is all about.
Greg Braden lives in Taos?
Mm-hmm.
No, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I came to that realization at some point. Yeah. When I lived in New Mexico, I had read Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, and she talks about your morning pages. And every morning she said, write 3 sides of writing, like the stream of consciousness. And I used to do that every morning. At first, when I lived in New Mexico, I would do my morning pages, and that was so good for me, to just pen to paper, writing. I felt like that was a very powerful activity for me, because it is, in a way, it is like, well, I guess people have known this forever with keeping a diary. I mean, it's a record of your life. And I guess mine was less about my physical comings and goings, but as it was about, my emotional state, or my, so I loved doing that.
I did that for a while too, the morning pages.
Oh, you did?
And I liked it a lot too. A lot of times I felt like it was just like, getting it out, right? Getting out
Yeah.
whatever was there that sort of could keep me stuck, in some kind of a
Yes.
mindset, and just like getting it on the page. And it was never anything I ever wanted to reread. It was like, oh my
Right.
God, if I ever
Right.
see me writing about the same whatever emotions over and over again. But yeah, I was never that interested in like, oh, well, I did this today and I did, who cares? Like that
Right.
never, I mean, unless I am doing like a travel log type of a thing.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like I love just being able to say, this is what's here today. This is what's
Yeah.
today.
That's like the biggest criticism of people on social media, that they take pictures of their meals. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're a nutritionist or if you're trying to impart better eating habits on friends alike, but yeah, I don't know.
I
You
do
just eat.
occasionally do that because I'm very impressed with my artistic
Yeah.
creative abilities in the
Okay.
kitchen.
Then
So
I'll say
sometimes I'm like,
nothing more about
this
that.
was really cool. Or if it looks beautiful, on one of my handmade pottery bowls, then
Oh yeah.
it's like a
And
double
if the colors are vibrant,
right?
we eat beautiful colors.
It's true, especially now, all the
Yeah.
vibrant oranges, and yeah,
Oh yes.
want to get
Yes.
some good
It's apple season over on the
fresh.
northeast coast.
Apple
It's
season, yeah.
apple
Oh, do
season.
I miss that about the Northeast? Apple
I
picking
know.
and the beautiful, amazing amounts of different kinds of apples. We don't have that so much here.
Yeah. Right.
There are orchards, but the types of apples are pretty limited.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
And
Different.
mostly in the high desert, we don't grow them.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, there are some kind of funky little apples at the farmer's market,
Yes.
but they're not like, all those
New
delicious.
York apples.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so and I don't have anything more in the dream life. I guess
Yeah, I
say,
don't
as
either
always.
really. Yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of in the moments with my life, with my house
Yes.
search and
Yes.
financial insanity that goes on along with that.
Yes.
Um, yeah, prices are out of control,
Yeah.
and makes me wonder like about a lot of things,
Right.
Yeah, so I'm really in life. I'm in the life. I'm in the like,
Yes.
what am I doing? I'm in the sort of
Yes.
like little anxiety actually of
Yes.
and
My life is about to get more anxiety provoking. I'm just waiting on a court date for my divorce now.
oh wow.
And that's, I think the administrator of my lawyer, or his secretary, whatever you call her, had said like the 29th or something. I mean, like it's really this week kind of thing. So that's
Mm-hmm.
my, not real, can't possibly wrap my head around it. Not real.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
we got married in 2005, so
Mm-hmm.
16 years.
But you haven't been together
No,
at all. So, but I know
no, we
there's
haven't been
something about,
together in 7 years.
yeah, but still there's something about the finalization of it and the sudden feeling of like doors are shut.
I know.
Right. I
I
guess,
know.
I mean, I'm projecting.
So what am I going to do with my big fucking Katuba? It should be the least of my worries, but I swear that weighs on me because it's an agreement that we signed, and we had someone witnessed me signing and someone witnessed him signing. And then we had it beautiful, beautiful Katuba framed, and it was up on the wall. And now it's like in the closet, but what do I do with it? I take it out of the frame, just fold it up and put it with my keepsakes.
I mean, that's probably what I would do, is I'd probably take it out of the frame and roll it up,
Oh, roll it up.
cover
Yeah.
it in, I don't know.
And then what?
Yeah.
I keep it forever? Like,
You
what?
might just find someday you don't want to keep it anymore. Maybe you'll burn it in a ceremony,
Okay.
in a sacred ceremony.
Yeah.
I mean, but you'll know if you're ready for that.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
you hang on to it for a memory, I don't know.
Right.
It's going to be
I
up to
don't
like,
know.
how it feels
Yeah.
to you.
I mean, recognize this is the smallest of concerns, but it's truly weighing on me.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, if that's what's weighing on you, then it's not the smallest of
Right,
concerns, you
right.
know, right? Like
I
there's
guess
something to that.
partially because it was a commitment signed. It was like a contract.
Yeah.
Contract.
I
A
understand that.
wedding is or used to be contractual. So this is also contractual. And so I guess it's already loaded with, imbued with that kind of regret, you know, although I do love what you said, the good and the bad were part of the marriage, you know, also all the good times, also all the fun we had. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's true. It's not only
Yeah.
the bad time, but yeah, it's a contract. It's something, I guess we did keep it because, I mean, he had said to me, if I'm not happy, I'm just not gonna stay in the relationship. And I was kind of like, of course he'll be happy. Then you learn like, no, it's not my job to make anyone happy. You create the happiness within oneself, you know,
Mhm.
except me or, you know, my dependents, possibly. I don't even know if that's true. You know, you can't make anyone else happy
Mm-mm.
but
No,
yourself. Yeah.
no, no. I mean, you can be happier with someone, I think, you know, I think that, you know, I mean, oh
I
God, I
hope
don't
that's
know.
right.
I'm the last person to talk about healthy relationships. In my mind, I know what a healthy relationship looks like. I don't know that I've ever had that. So,
And I honestly, I can only think of like 3 ideal couples, you know, that
yeah, yeah,
ideal,
I know.
you know,
Yeah,
not to put
relationships are.
anyone who's embarking on the couplehood, you know, I really respect that. And I'm not naysaying any of it. I'm just
Mhm.
saying, like, as far as people who have like a really good marriage based on spiritual growth and you know, mutual respect and however people can work that out.
Mm.
There's really a very limited amount of couples that have met that ideal for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy. I don't think it's easy.
Neither one of us included.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, no, definitely.
No, no,
All right. We don't need to go down that road
we
today.
don't. That rabbit
No,
hole.
we probably don't want to do that.
Yeah. So I feel like
Mm.
I've been dreaming lately. And then my little boys, he likes to get up a lot earlier than me. I am a sleeper inner. I like to sleep in. And he comes in my room, puts on my light, like, come on, man. It's too bright. And so while I think I'm gonna wake up with this dream, he comes in and like knocks every thought
Oh,
right
yeah.
out of my head. So
Mhm. Yeah. That makes it hard to remember your
makes it
dreams, right?
hard.
If that liminal state is kind of broken. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Like I
yeah.
need to re-emerge in a
Yeah,
gentle way.
sure. Right. If you kind of wake up like that, your dreams are going to go
Right,
bye.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll just remind everyone what my dream teacher, Jeremy Taylor, used to say, which is that dreams are like reliable public transportation. If we miss one, another's going to come right around and take us to the same place we need to be. Right? He says it much more eloquently, but like we can't be too fixated on one we don't remember because another one is
Sure.
going to
Of
come.
course. Of course. You can't make yourself remember if you don't. So right, just
Right.
kind of stay open to the next
Yes.
thing that comes
The
along.
next
Yeah.
bus that
Yeah.
comes by.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Exactly.
on the bus
I
or you
believe
off the
that.
bus?
I agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, as always, Ellen, it's great to talk with you. Shall we
Thanks, you too.
choose a topic? I know we both like doing topics. Shall we incubate a dream and do it for a number of nights and then talk about it?
You know, I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily like the topic thing
Oh,
because
really? Oh, I thought we both did.
not necessarily, we talked about it, but I didn't necessarily particularly like, I mean, I guess I liked
Okay.
maybe the idea of it, but only because it seemed to come up that there was a theme,
Oh, that was just a
between
coincidence.
you and I about our dream life. There seemed
Yeah.
to be a theme, but I don't like to influence whatever's going. I just want it to
Okay.
flow and
Good.
come
So
and be
then
whatever it
we
is.
shall not.
Yeah, if that's
I
okay.
might just,
Yeah, if that works for
I
you, that's
like, I
cool.
like asking universe, what am I supposed to be learning right now? Or,
That's
you know,
cool because that's
yeah,
very open-ended. It's not like, what do I need
right.
to know about love right
Oh,
now?
yeah,
Like,
right.
to just
Right.
say, what do I need to know?
Yeah.
What do I need to know is
So I
brilliant.
think I will do that. I will be incubating that all week until we meet again for another dream stream.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
Okay, Ellen,
Hey,
great to see you as always.
and you.
And to our listeners, I wish for you sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, everybody.